Hey, hi everyone. In our previous video, we have discussed about data analyst, what is a data scientist, and what is a data engineer, where we have understood what are their jobs by taking one very simple example. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the aspects of data analyst, data scientist, data engineer. Here, we are going to go through all these aspects. What is data analyst? What is data scientist? And what is a data engineer? Where we are going to take one real-time example to understand their roles and responsibilities. So let's consider we are going to deal with the air pollution problem. Now, to deal with this air pollution problem, I'm going to invite D team. D team consists of data engineer, data analyst, and data scientist. So let us say Tanya is data engineer, Rajesh is data scientist, and Aisha is data engineer, data analyst. All right. So let's see what are the roles and responsibilities to overcome or to tackle this air pollution problem. Okay. Now, whenever we talk about air pollution, first thing we need to collect the data so that we can track the air pollution and we can find out what is the what is the cause, and we can take some steps to reduce it. So what is the very first step? We are going to install some sensors throughout our city. Okay, so let's consider we are going to install somewhere around 1,000 sensors across our city. All right, so this 1,000 sensors are deployed in the different locations. So it's not possible for me to connect them through wires. Correct. So they will be connected through some cloud platform. Okay. Now, what is the next step? After deploying the sensors in the marked area, what is the next step? What we need to do is we need to collect the data. Right. So what are the data? Let's consider here we have various data. We have particle matter, we have CO2. What is the CO2 content in the air? What is the nitrogen content in the air? What is the wind direction? What is the speed of the wind? What is the temperature? There will be various factors which we need to collect. Okay. And each sensors. So let's consider there are 15 factors which each sensor is going to collect. So we have how many sensors in the city? 1,000 sensors. So every second, there are 1,000 sensors, which is sending 15 information to our server. Okay. Now, what is the job of a data engineer? Here, Tanya comes into the picture where what Tanya is going to do is she is going to build a data infrastructure. This data infrastructure is responsible to effectively store the data, not just store the data, to effectively store the data. So whatever the data are coming in, according to the time, according to the date, it will be stored effectively. Right. So who is responsible to build this infrastructure? Tanya. That means a data engineer. And not just building the structure, we need to even retrieve the information as well. Okay, so this is also a job of data engineer where they need to set up a proper pipeline where the data is coming into the database and the data is retrieved from the database. If there is any problem, if we are unable to capture maybe CO2 from 5 sensors, so who needs to quickly fix it? Data engineer, because the data is not being corrected properly. So once again, what is the job of a data engineer? To build a proper data infrastructure where we can effectively store the data and effectively retrieve the data as well. And we are not going to store this in our local computers. These are going to be stored on some cloud. Okay, what are the skills? We will deal with that later. Now, let's consider Tanya has collected all this information. Now, what is the next step? See, we need to analyze the data and we need to come up with some graphs and those kind of things to understand what is the percentage of CO2, those kind of things, right? So who is going to do that? To analyze and give us the insights from the data, that is the job of a data analyst. Based on this data, maybe every data is not required. So their data analyst needs to clean the data as well. Taking the data from database, whichever data is required for us, cleaning the data and creating a dashboard. Why do we create a dashboard? To get the insights from the data. Who is doing this again? This is done by Aisha. All right. Next, after that, we have understanding that okay, maybe in this area we have more pollution, in this area we have less pollution. In this particular time, because of heavy vehicle movement, we have more pollution, or maybe because of wind direction, which is coming from industries. There are various factors which we need to deal with. So who is going to deal with? That is done by a data analyst to provide the insights from the data. All right. Then after this, data scientist. What is the job of a data scientist then, Nasir? See, data scientist, Rajesh, we are going to go one step ahead. Okay, what he's going to do is he's going to make the predictions. At this particular time, there will be the higher pollution. Right. So these kind of predictions. So maybe after 2 days at this particular time, there is a chances of increase in CO2 level in our air. Who is going to do that prediction part? That is done by a data scientist. So they are going to give insights, and as well as the main important point extra, what they're going to do? Give predictions. Okay, Nasir, but how is data scientist giving a prediction here? Here, what we do is we make use of data science concepts such as machine learning or deep learning to identify the patterns present in the data and make the predictions. Right. So here the actual artificial intelligence come into the picture where we are teaching machines to understand the pattern in the air and predict the pollution level. So what is the job of a data scientist then? To build AI models. All right. So these are the roles and responsibilities of data engineer, data analyst, and a data scientist. Now, let's quickly talk about what are the skills required by them. Right. So first, the data engineer, we need to know Python, we need to know Scala, we need to know Java. We need to know SQL as a database language. We need to know some cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, or GCP from Google. Right. We need to know big data technologies, cloud platforms. We need to know Hadoop. We need to know Apache Spark. All these are the skills required by a data engineer. Right, Nasir, then what are the skills required by a data scientist or data analyst? All right, so data analyst requires Python, they require SQL, they require some data visualization tools such as Power BI or Tableau. They need some statistical knowledge as well, and Excel. Right, Nasir, then what are the skills required by a data scientist? The data scientist also requires Python. Here they need SQL, we need statistics. Then what else we need? We need machine learning. We need deep learning. In deep learning, we have various applications, computer vision and NLP, where computer vision deals with image and NLP deals with text data. Hope you have liked the video. For any further assistance, feel free to reach out to us. The contact of our support team is given in the description. And remember, in this content overload era, to land your dream job, one-on-one guidance is all you need. Thank you.